Well, hello everybody. Good evening. I hope you can hear me. Folks, this is kind of a test for me too. I am trying to, figure this stuff out myself here as we go. I've been pushing or selling my for sale by owner books for a long time, and I figure, it's time to get the information out to the public who really needs it. And forgive me, I'm kind of trying to multitask here while we're doing this here. But I figure it's time to get this stuff out to the public and let people start to be able to benefit from having this information. It's very valuable information. If you're considering selling your home, this information can save you thousands, tens of thousands in commission. Now, this doesn't matter, or it makes no difference whether you are selling on your own or if you end up hiring an agent. This is equally as valuable, because the book not only teaches you how to sell your own home and how to save the commissions, and how to get people to pay you to sell your home. Other agents and other vendors and service providers, they will actually pay you to help you get your home sold. If you have to hire a real estate agent, then this will tell you how to do it, how to pick the right agent, some of the tricks that are used to try and get the listing from you when you should be, when you're expecting that you're getting a highly skilled professional real estate agent. And so these are kind of some of the things that I talk about in this book. And let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've been working in the real estate industry for, probably, I'm going to guess, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 18 years. And in the meantime, I've sold millions and millions of dollars worth of real estate. I've received, what would be considered small commission checks. I've received what would be considered enormous commission checks. And I've made a very good living doing this. The reason why I decided that I was going to do a for sale by owner book and then now a training is because two things. Number one, I want to try and help you to save money. Every single person that I ever spoke to that I listed their house, I asked them, I said, hey, if you knew how to sell your own home without paying all the commissions, would you? And in almost every single case, the answer was absolutely yes. We've thought about it. Now, some people think about it for about a minute, just because they know they don't have the time or they don't want to try and figure the steps out. Other people, on the other hand, they're take it to extremes, to the point where they go and get a sign, they put it in the front yard, they put their phone number on it, they let people walk through their house, they put ads, they do the things that they think that they're supposed to do, and then statistically speaking, one of the things that real estate agents love is to see a for sale by owner sign going up, for two reasons. Number one, because it tells us, hey, there's our target. That's who we're going after. We're trying to find the person who is trying to sell their house. And what more of an indicator than somebody putting a for sale by owner sign in their front yard? And the second reason is because, I lost my train of thought there for a second. But the real estate agents, we love seeing the for sale by owner sign because it's a target. And gosh darn it, lost my train of thought. Hate it when that happens. So anyways, doing for sale by owner, like I said, can save you a lot of money and can save you a lot of hassle. Now, you can take that money and you can put it into a new house. I will tell you, one of the things that is commonly used is the fear tactics by real estate agents to say, oh, you can't do it. People get sued when you sell your house. And if you're sloppy and you're not careful and you don't follow the right steps and follow the laws, absolutely, yeah, you could put yourself in liability. But I would tell you what, I've worked with real estate agents many, many, many real estate agents that should be nowhere near a lockbox, let alone signing your contract and doing real estate related transactions, handling hundreds of thousands of your dollars to get the homes, sold or listed or whatever. And on the other hand, don't take me wrong. This is not about bashing real estate agents. Not at all. I'm licensed. I'm a licensed real estate agent. I'm a member of the Board of Realtors. What this is about is, hopefully raising the bar a little bit. I've seen too many people who have been taken advantage of by real estate agents who lose lots of money because of it. And if at the very least, like I said, if you have to sell your house, well then guess what? You can list your house with a real estate agent with confidence and knowing that you have the right person. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go step by step through my manual. And I'm going to go through it on a weekly basis here until we get all the way through it, and then maybe I'll start all over again, because there's always somebody needing to sell their home. And these times right now in the recession, I know people really need to figure out how in the heck can I get my home sold. We need to get out of here, and we need to do it in a way that we're maximizing our funds. And I believe that this will show you how you can do that. In addition, as we get down to the end, we throw in some bonuses and things like that, some other resources and tools that you can make use of. In the meantime, I'm not going to harp on this, but I will say in the meantime, if you go to my website at www.sellahomeonmyown.com, then you can access that book and get the book. And I'm sorry, trying to figure this stuff out. Like I said, this is kind of a test here for me, so trying to get this text on the screen to help you get to that location. But yeah, you can get the book there at that website address, and then let's see, what's that? Yeah, we'll try this. www.sellahomeonmyown.com. So yeah, let me. So as I'm looking, I don't see anything coming up here. So maybe it's coming across your screen there. Well, okay. Well, we get to learn this stuff learn this stuff as we go. Anyways, you can go to that website. You can get the book, folks. I do this. I put this book together, and I think it's very, very comprehensive. Like I said, it tells you how to sell your own home, how to save the money on the commissions, and better yet, how to get other people to pay you to get your home sold. I mean, very valuable information. And I guarantee this book, if you go there through the vendor that we use, I think we have to give a 21-day guarantee. Folks, no, I give a 90-day guarantee. If you buy this book and then you read it and you go cover to cover, you keep the book, and you call me up or you send me a message saying, you know what, Anthony, the book didn't work for me. It did not give me anything of any value. And you get your money back. No questions asked. No questions asked whatsoever. But it's information that you need to have. It also gives you access to quite a few other resources that are available. So please, go check it out. Try it out. If you don't like it, then send it back. The risk is all on me. And I'm happy to do it because I know that the information is valuable. If you don't find any value in it, I don't want you to pay for it at all. On the other hand, if you find value in it, I think that you're going to say, gosh, that was worth every single penny. So go ahead, go on over there to www.sellahomeonmyown.com. And let's see. that is that's it. With that, why don't we go ahead and get started. Let me grab the printout here. I got one more page to go. Yeah, the printer was going a little bit slow as I was kind of getting ready for this, and I am actually trying to find my own link to the presentation. So this is kind of interesting here. If we've got a little chat pop up, I don't know if anybody's even watching us right here. But let's see. Interesting. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. So here we go. Let's see what's going on. Okay, first of all, kind of like what I said already. You know what? Like thousands of other homeowners, you want to sell your house, except unlike most of them, you want to do it yourself without the use of a real estate agent. Why? Well, probably because you want to save the commissions, right? I mean, obviously, that's why most people do a for sale by owner. And you know, the secondary reason I'll tell you the reason that came up second most was the reason that they had a bad experience with a real estate agent at one point in time. And so it's really kind of interesting when you talk to people why they do for sale by owner. And I'm going to go through this here. First of all, we're going to go through some of the first of all, understanding market conditions and pricing your home. Folks, before you do anything, before you talk to a real estate agent, before you talk or consider selling the home on your own, this is something that you absolutely need to do. You need to get a real good grasp on what the value of your home is. If you don't know what the value of your home is, or you don't have a real good clue, and I don't mean somebody down the street is, you know, their house is selling for, you know, $500,000, and so you think your house is $500,000. No, that is not knowing what your home is worth. And I have done it so many times where I had somebody say to me, you know, that house down the street is selling for, listed for a specific price, and you know, our house is kind of similar to their house, and gee, we just had a new water heater put in. Goodness gracious, you know, whatever. That is, to me, when I would hear stuff like that, I would just go, oh my gosh, I have somebody who is, you know, really kind of unreasonable in, you know, their expectations as far as what the house is worth. And so when I look at that, or when I talk to them, I say, okay guys, do you realize that the house down the street is 1,000 square feet more, and it has an upgraded kitchen, and it has a bigger backyard and a pool? You know, it's so amazing that so many people don't get this, and I have to really drive this home, because this is such a big reality check for people. They don't want to hear the truth. And especially in a recession right now, people think that, well, my house is worth a whole lot more than what it is. Everybody always does. When I sold my house, my house was worth a whole lot more than, you know, probably what it was worth. I had a few tricks in my pocket, and so I was actually able to drive a little bit of business to the or drive the price up a little bit. And I'll be sharing some of those tricks with you over the course of the next few weeks. But pricing is so important that if you get this wrong, then not only will your house not sell. See, that's not just the big part about, or the thing that's the most difficult about not pricing right. It not only does it not sell, but you're actually going to lose a whole lot more money than if you were if you had priced it lower to begin with. Because over time, what happens is, if prices are going down, and I have a graph, but like I said, I'm trying to figure this stuff out, and so I don't really know if I am, oh my goodness, I don't really know if or how to get the graphs on the screen just yet. So maybe next week I'll kind of have a few more things figured out. But I have a graph, and basically it shows that if your house, if the market is going down like this, and you price your home right here, well, guess what? The market continues to go down, and guess what? Now your house is overpriced almost instantly, right? By the time it gets on the market, you get the few things painted that need to be painted and cleaned up, and some stuff moved out and the clutter removed. The value of your home is already dropping, and the market has passed you up. And then what happens is you sit there on the market forever and ever and ever, and you're thinking, what in the world, why isn't my house selling? When you know what, it should, right? I mean, from your perspective, it's a beautiful house, but but it just doesn't do it. And you get frustrated, and then what do? You call a real estate agent. What does a real estate agent tell you? They say, well, your house is overpriced. And I'm actually looking on another monitor right now where I have, hey, there I am. All right. Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. That's not fair to you guys. Okay, so anyways, if you price your house to, like right at the market in a down market, then you're going to be in trouble. On the other hand, what you want to do is you want to price your house below the market. So if the market is up here, you want to price your house below the market. And I know, as painful as that sounds, it's a whole lot more effective, because a couple of things happen. If the market goes down, well, now you've got time before it gets to you, and it's going to get to you if it's in a down market. But if the market is here, and you have a really nice house, or your home is priced aggressively, instead of being up here and people seeing that it's overpriced and nobody making offers on your house, then what's going to happen is they are going to go ahead and they will go ahead and bid up your property. And so now the value, or the offers on your house, come to a point where the market meets, right? So this is a way to get your home sold, by having it priced properly. So how do you get it priced properly? Well, let's just kind of go through these steps here. The way that you get your home priced properly is by doing a few things. First of all, you got to understand the market conditions. You have to know what's happening, just really what's happening in your market. Kind of like what I talked about bringing your price down below the market so that it will meet with the market. I'm just going to read right here, guys, so just follow along. This is by far the most important, yet most often misunderstood step. Failure to understand the market and properly price your home is the single biggest factor that will cause it to not sell for top dollar and sit unsold for months at a time. To make sure that this doesn't happen to you, you must first focus on two main areas. Let's see. Oops, sorry. Two main areas. The first area is the current market conditions. And secondly is your time requirements. Excuse me one second. Okay, so let's look at how current market conditions can affect selling and pricing. Suppose that there were very few homes on the market for sale and a large amount of eager buyers. What would that do to prices? Well, that's right. They would go up. This is referred to as a seller's market, right? Conversely, if there were very few buyers and lots of eager sellers, what would that do to prices? Sure, they would go down too. That would be a buyer's market, right? I mean, I think we kind of recognize that, don't we? And I'm going to switch to a different thing because I don't like holding up these papers here. So give me 1 second here. And again, I appreciate you bearing with me. This is the first broadcast I've done. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but it just always was trying to figure out how to get it done right and holding off. And this, what do they call that? Paralysis or paralysis by analysis. Well, just time to go ahead and do this. So hopefully this works a little bit better. I'm just going to go ahead and read off the screen. Anyways, conversely, if there were a few buyers and lots of eager sellers, then what would that do to prices? They would go down, right? And that would be a buyer's market. It's a basic law of supply and demand. Of course, that is a very simple example. Your local market may be one of the extremes or anywhere in between. You must consider things like interest rates, new home sales, and local economic factors such as zoning changes, large business openings, or closings. If you have an aerospace plant or military bases, like in our area, we had military bases closed. It impacted our real estate very adversely. And so to properly analyze your current market conditions, you will need to research homes currently available under contract and recently sold in your area. So key factor, folks, and I'm going to hit on this some more. Currently available, under contract, and recently sold in your area. So you want to know all three of them, but they are all three have distinct differences and things that you want to be aware of when you're pricing. There's several ways to get the information on homes that have sold. The first way is to do the research yourself. Now, sales prices of homes that have sold and closed are usually public record. It seems to be a trend where, at least in the higher priced homes, that the way that they identify the value of the home is by a special stamp that's on the back, at least in my area, when it's recorded. And they're eliminating that stamp, or they're putting it on the back of the document instead of the front, so you have nothing to look at a public record and do a calculation on. So, but anyways, you can go down to your county or city records office. You can dig up all the information. We don't know exactly how long it'll take, but just don't make any plans for that day. Each record keeping office is different, so you'll need to inquire with that office regarding their procedures. Here in Southern California, where I live, records are pretty readily accessible, but I can imagine in other states or in rural areas, those records may not be as available when you go to look for them. So, we just try to do with the resources we can. The second option is to go online. There's websites like Zillow.com, cyberrealestate.com, realtor.com, all kinds of sites that you can go to that will actually provide you with an estimate of your home's value. You give a few clicks of a button on your computer, you can have a simple estimate that you can use as your basis. Now, note these two warnings. Sites like Zillow.com are not always accurate, and they definitely don't take into consideration overall condition and effects of other elements on the value of your home. Just use them as a starting point. Often people are shocked when they use a site like this and the price is nowhere what they expected. They become offended sometimes, and other times they are led to believe that their home is worth a whole lot more than it really is. As mentioned previously, these sites are only to be used as a launching point. You still have to do your due diligence and research. Warning number 2, be aware of real estate agent referral sites. Zillow.com is a real estate agent referral site. So is our sites like housevalues.com. Honestly, pretty much any real estate site that you go to. And the reason is because they are, if they identify you as a lead for a potential listing or a sale, then gosh darn it, that's a very valuable lead, and they can turn around and sell those those leads to the real estate agents. These sites typically will promote the ability to value your home simply by entering in some basic information. Once this is done, you are redirected to a page, or you get an email saying that your request for a home value was received, and someone will be contacting you soon with the information you requested. Now, I'm sure you probably already ran across these, right? Well, guess what? The person who's calling you is going to be a real estate agent. Because sites like these are lead generator sites for real estate agents. Real estate agents are paying big bucks to find out that you are preparing to sell your home. These sites exist in hundreds, if not thousands of them. If you find yourself accessing one of these sites and you don't want to be bothered by an overeager real estate agent, here's a couple of things to do. Be sure to check any box other than planning on selling or refinance. If you check planning on selling or refinance, you'll get pounced on by real estate and mortgage people. Now, I tell people to play it safe, and in the comments section, when you fill out these sites, put something like, yeah, I just bought a new house, I want to know if I paid the right price. Now, most agents, they won't have anything to do with this scenario. They won't call you back. Or if you put, like I got one from one of my sites that said, I wanted to know what my friend's mommy's and daddy's house is worth. Well, I found out that wasn't a child who was doing it, but guess what? It really made me think twice about calling that person. I don't want to call a kid and talk to them about the value of their home and try and get a listing out of it and find out who mommy and daddy is. No, I don't want to do that. If somebody doesn't indicate that they are planning on selling or that they need a refinance or something like that, then what's the point of bothering that person? People just want some information. Sorry about that. They just want some information. So put something in there like that will help them to make a decision not to call you. Otherwise, I am no kidding, you will get attacked, right? If the system, excuse me, it's been a long day. If the system is truly automated, you'll be given an estimate, and again, start from there. It's my opinion that you do not want to establish a relationship with an agent from a lead generation site except under certain circumstances. And I have a whole chapter on working with real estate agents. And even as a first-time owner, you can work with real estate agents very effectively. And no, you don't have to list with them. But another way that you can, and this goes into working with real estate agents, but another one you can get value, an estimated value, is that you can ask a real estate agent for a complete computerized marketing analysis of your area, including available, under contract, and closed homes. Average price per square foot, average days in the market, etc. Usually it's printed out in a matter of minutes. It's all computerized. Keep in mind, most agents will do this with the idea that they are going to get the listing. So be nice to them. Tell them you're just thinking about selling, but you're not sure, and you'll get back to them. That'll at least give them the hope that maybe you will. And if you like them, maybe you will get back to them. Make more, however, or make a note, however, about which agent you like best and why. But remember, you're making a business decision. In this case, you need to use an agent. In the case that you need to use an agent, the reason he was real nice or she looked like my grandma are not good reasons for doing business with someone. And yes, these are actual comments from real clients of mine. You may have noticed that I implied several times to ask agents for an analysis. So if you decide to take that route, there's a very important reason for this. A market analysis is purely an estimate. It is subject to the opinions and the perceptions of the person presenting it to you. Okay, let me say that again. A marketing analysis by a real estate agent is purely an estimate. It is subject to the opinions and perceptions of the person presenting it to you. Also, one well-known technique, it's a very well-known technique, and if you work in a real estate office, you would hear agents actually talking about doing this almost probably on a daily basis. And that technique is to give a value that is higher than the actual value in hopes that the value presented is what you're basing your decision on. You'd be amazed at how many people fall for this trick. So then I come into your house and I say, hey, guess what? Your home is worth $25,000 more than what all the other agents are telling you. And so you look at me and you think I'm your hero, and you end up listing your house with me. Well, then guess what I do for the next 2, 3, 6 months is I constantly beat you up weekly to reduce your price to what it should be. But they still get the listing, and once they get the listing, it's the old ask for forgiveness later, whatever it is. I forget exactly how that goes. Anyways, they just beat you up to get the prices reduced. I'll get more on this later. By having multiple agents provide you with a market analysis, also this is kind of a trick you should use. Having multiple agents, then you can have you can throw out the high one, you can throw out the low one, and you might have a good middle one, give you a good picture of your true value of your home. Now finally, and this is probably the best option, folks, if you are going to save $10,000, $15,000, $40,000 in commissions, then surely you would be willing to spend a few $100s and hire a fee appraiser. A fee appraiser, they'll give you an unbiased evaluation of your home's worth. Okay, this can be a very valuable tool when you're negotiating the sale. This is the technique that we recommend the most. Even when a client lists their home for sale with us, we still recommend that they hire a fee appraiser. Why? Well, the reasons are simple, and they are very beneficial. First of all, you are probably aware that any real estate agent will offer you a free market analysis like we talked about before, or something of the sort. Under, they call it different things, whatever it is. It's basically just valuation of your home. These market analyses are usually no better than you doing it yourself. You see, unless an agent has sold every home in the neighborhood and has a crystal clear memory of every single home, then they'll just be pulling up data, and usually it's all just computerized. They'll be pulling up data to compare. And you must understand that a real estate agent's job when listing a home is not to price your home. All they do is make a recommendation, or that's all they should be doing, is make a recommendation. In fact, if an agent insists on a price to you, and the home doesn't sell because it's too high, or you don't make as much money as you could have because it's too low, they could be liable. Did you know that? If they tell you, no, the price is $525,000, and it's too high, and you missed the market, and now you have to sell your house for $450,000. Well, it takes some proving to do, but they could be liable. And likewise, same thing. And if you price it too low, maybe the market's going up and they price it too low, well, you could have gotten another $50,000. They could be liable for that too. So please, don't misunderstand. There are many agents who are very good at analyzing your home's value. But likewise, there are probably many more who are not. Like I said, one of my goals here is to raise the bar and make sure that you know what to do, because if you know what to do, then you can catch those real estate agents who are kind of faking it and trying to, make their first sale at your expense, okay? Which, they all had to start somewhere. I had to start somewhere once too. So, anyways, another reason we suggest hiring a fee appraiser is because in the typical transaction, it kind of goes something like this. The seller says, well, we think our home is worth $500,000. The buyer says, well, we think it's worth less. You can show them all the research you did yourself and do a wonderful job of justifying your home's value. But the buyer probably knows, or will learn very shortly, that you're not a real estate agent or appraiser, so your information is probably flawed. You ever haggled at a garage sale or a flea market? Well, why? Usually because you know that the seller is just guessing at a price and hoping that they get it, right? When you have an appraisal in your hand, you can rebut any lower offer by saying, we have a professional appraisal, and this is what our home is worth. Kind of makes it hard to dispute. Of course, you always have the prerogative to negotiate any price that you like, but you know exactly where you stand. Most people choose not to hire a fee appraiser, and this is a big mistake. Even if you are and end up listing with an agent, this is a big mistake. So, depending on where you live and the size of your home, the cost varies, of course. Appraisals in my area run from $300 for the average home to $1,000 for the large estates, or even more in some cases. When you figure out how much you're saving by not paying a real estate commission, paying a fee appraiser up front is easily justified. I get frustrated when people refuse to spend $300 up front only to lose thousands because they sat on the market forever and they created the perception that there must be something wrong because the home hasn't sold. One last bit about getting a fee appraiser. You may have an appraisal done just to find out that your home is worth less than you thought. Oh my gosh, that's devastating, right? Well, as discouraging as it is to get this news, you have to remember that it will help you make a decision regarding selling. Remember that agent who came over and gave you an analysis and said that they were so confident that they could sell your home for $50,000 more. With the appraisal, you have to ask yourself, if that agent was telling you what you wanted to hear just to get you to sign a listing agreement, it's always easier to get a price reduction later than to get someone to list. As the old saying goes, it's easier to get forgiveness later than it is to get permission now. There it is. I forgot that. I tried to remember that earlier. So hiring a fee appraiser could prevent you from spending weeks and months on the market with no bites. In the end, you ask whatever price you decide. It's totally up to you, right? So now once you have the market information on homes in your area, take some time and drive around the area, stopping in front of the homes on your list. Make notes about the appearance and the other details of the home. If any of the available homes are having an open house, take a look inside. Be upfront with the owner or agent and tell them, we live in the area, we're planning to sell our home ourselves, do you mind if we take a quick look? Unless you want to get called by that agent, don't give them your name and number. Take their card, be nice, and say, we'll take your card instead. If we decide to list, we'll give you a call, right? This driving around is an important step because it gets you more familiar with the market, and it will help you make more objective decision on pricing your home. Next, sit down at the table and review the data and make an honest, unbiased comparison based on criteria such as things like size, age, bedrooms, baths, pool, spa, basement, if the garage size, if there's a view, how big the lot is, any other features that you identify that are different from your home, whether they're better or worse. Start by taking a brief look at the homes that are currently available for sale. The purpose of looking at the available properties, folks, this is really important. I want you to pay attention to this. The purpose of looking at the available properties is to get a feel for what other people in your area are asking. It is not to use the information to base your price on. You can't base your price on what other people are asking. A seller can ask any price they want for their home, regardless of what it's really worth. Many of the available homes are priced in dreamland. These prices do not reflect the reality of the market. In fact, professional appraisers, they can't even use available prices at all when appraising a house. They can only use closed sales. Only closed sales, not even in contract, but only closed sales within the past 6 months usually. So again, get that. Make sure you get that. That's really important. That even I had a family member, I was selling their house, and they said, well, the house down the street is listed for $600,000 or something like that. So we should list our house for $600,000. And I said, no, you should list your house for $510,000 because that's probably what it will sell for, and you can sell it quick and get out. Right? They're in an urgent situation. So you say, okay, well, but, and of course they stick to their guns. They say, hey, no, my house is worth $600,000 because their house is worth $600,000. When the reality is it's not worth $600,000. That's just what they have it listed. That's the price tag. That's the flea market price. Put a price on it. See if they can get that price, right? Why not? I mean, if they're not in a hurry, if it's not important for them to get sold, but if it's important for you to get sold, having your home priced correctly is absolutely critical. So, let's see. I think we're going to go ahead and stop right here, because what I'm going to do is, like I said, this was kind of a test for me. And I am going to play around for a second with a few things so that I can just kind of get familiar with it, so I can see what I'm doing. So, how many of you Okay, so let's start this poll here real quick. Let's see. How many of you have thought about selling your for sale by owner? So let's see. I'm looking for a poll that's supposed to be coming up. I don't see a poll come up. Do you guys see a poll? Give me some feedback here. Huh. It's very interesting. This is a poll. Oh, at the top it says poll. Oh, okay. How many of you? Okay. There we go. I have two screens going here right now, so it's kind of cool. Okay, I see how the poll works. Let's see how audience tools. Pick a live view stream. Shows co-host. Invite users or viewers. Send Twitter. I already did that. Text and videos. Okay. weird, I don't have a preview here. See, it puts it like right in the middle of the screen, it looks like. Is that what you guys are seeing? Is there a way to move it? How do I move? How do I move the text? That's really weird. How about watching a video? Let's do that. Let's do that. So we'll push this on the air. Very interesting. Anyways, like I said, I'm just still trying to get this thing figured out, and so we're going to start doing this every week. And if you want to come back next week, we'll talk more about getting your home sold on your own, getting agents to pay you to get your home sold, and how to work with those agents too if you need to. So thanks so much for visiting. Appreciate any comments or feedback that you have. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you can, and we'll wrap it up here. Have a great night.